Welcome to the Zapata Brand Podcast, Boxing Edition.
Okay, guys, we're here with the Zapata Brand Podcast, Boxing Edition. Tonight, July 29th, 9 p.m., Showtime pay-per-view, Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford. With me right now is the co-trainer over at the Rocky Boxing Gym. He has over 100 victories with amateurs. He has Spencer Kishbaugh. He has Taylor Kishbaugh. Sophia Guerrero worked with her as well, and he trains my son. This is Rich Finch. He is also our producer, so sometimes you don't see him on screen. He's a little bashful to get on, but I wanted to bring him on. He is probably one of the most knowledgeable people in the boxing community that I know. Him being a teacher, he is very articulate about how to describe boxing. He doesn't use as many swear words as I do, but he's able to communicate to the kids real well. That being said, Rich, thank you for coming on.
Yep.
No problem. And I wanted to get you to give us a couple minutes here of what you expect tonight, and I'm going to go over it piece by piece. First, I'm going to go with the underdog. Actually, Errol Spence Jr. is an underdog tonight. What do you see in his skills as opposed to an elite level fighter?
Underdog? You think he's an underdog?
He is. He actually is.
Yeah, he is.
Yep,
but
he is. I don't think so.
Yeah,
but
I think it's a pretty close fight.
Oh, it is. It could be a pick and fight, but it is not. He's actually, I think he's plus 150. I think.
Oh, really?
Oh,
you're talking about like Vegas
odds. Yep, Vegas odds.
Okay.
Vegas odds. He is an underdog. I think he's plus 150. Now, there is some money coming in on Spence.
Yeah.
As the fight draws closer, I don't see the odds changing much.
Yeah.
But what quickly do you see with Spence?
With Spence, I mean, I'm going to go with both fighters. Like, I'm like on the fence with both of them because it's such a close fight. I feel like everybody keeps talking about how this is like the Hagler and Hearns of 2023, but Hagler and Hearns was an all-out war. I don't think that's going to be the case in this. I think it's going to be more tactical and more of a chess match.
So when I say describe Spence, you're saying Spence is more of a tactical guy.
I think both of them are.
Okay.
They're both tactical fighters.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Spence in his other fights, like when the fighting got on the inside, he was more prone to getting hit and getting caught. Like,
Mikey Garcia?
No, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter especially.
Sean Porter
caught him a couple times.
But now here's the key with that,
inside.
and I'm going to switch back to Bud for a little bit.
Yeah.
In the Spence fight, when Spence fought Porter, he got caught.
Yes.
Didn't move.
Yeah.
Okay. When Spence fought Mikey Garcia, he got caught and didn't move.
Okay.
Okay. When Crawford fought Porter, now that was a different Sean Porter, I think.
Yeah.
I think he was at the end of his career. I think.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I think he kind of. There was a lot of little
what are we
things that
talking
happened.
like year difference and like that when they fought each other? Like
It was
two?
about a year. I think it was a year and a half. Now, but I think that the Spence fight took a lot out of Sean Porter because it was a war. I mean, Sean Porter got knocked down and he said, "Come on, let's fight," and they went toe to toe.
But it went to decision though.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
For Crawford though,
he stopped him.
TKO.
Now, what I say is that if you look at the Crawford Gamboa fight, Crawford was hurt
years ago though.
But he was hurt. Your chin doesn't get better.
No.
I don't know if Gamboa hit him and rocked him. And I just saw his last fight. I just was watching it downstairs.
Yeah.
I don't remember the guy's last name. Is Ananesian or something like that. He was a guy from the Ukraine, I believe.
Okay.
And that was Crawford's. He rocked him twice. I don't think he was hurt, but he still rocked him a little bit.
Oh,
And
if he gets touched by Spence, he's going to get hurt.
Which is where I'm going with this. Yes, could be a tactical fight. It could be a fight that goes as far as chess match.
Yeah.
First 2-3 rounds.
Yeah.
After that, I think your skill level will take over and your conditioning. Both par. I think they're both even.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. But when all is equal, I think size and the ability to take a punch actually wins out. But I'm not trying to sway your
listen, I like
opinion.
them, I like them both. Like,
Okay.
So but I'm looking at like past fights and as far as like Spence is concerned, I don't know if this plays a factor into it, but like some of the fighters that he fought were a lot smaller guys, and a lot of them he didn't get them out of there.
Yeah,
Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, all of them. So I don't know if size, in this case,
it might not.
It might not matter what the skills that they have.
I think only in the fact of the ability to take a shot. Now, Crawford hasn't been on, wobbly legs.
No.
Bad.
I mean, he was with.
Bad.
Gamboa,
Oh, Gamboa, but I mean, like to a point where you were like, oh, he might go out.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty.
Yeah.
I think he had his wits about him. His legs were going in a different direction. His brain was telling him one. His legs were going in another. But I think that the ability to take a punch as you increase in the weight is going to be a lot less. Okay. Now, does he bring that power to 47? I mean, Spence is coming down. Spence had to come down.
Yeah, he did.
And he did look drained at the weigh-in. He did.
Yeah.
They both look very dry, actually.
Well, I mean, like if you're going off like sheer, I don't know if this matters at all, but like if you look at their boxing record, I mean, Crawford, like, when's the last time Spence got anybody out of there? Was it his last fight against?
It was against.
Who was that? Starts with a U.
Yeah.
What the hell is his name?
I forget. Or Dinah Jurganis. It was one of those guys.
Yeah.
Ugas.
That's his name.
Yeah. No, and he beat him up. He really beat him up.
Yeah.
And that was a guy who just beat up Manny Pacquiao. Yeah. Pacquiao on the end of his career, obviously, but and with limited advantages as far as physical. He was, very small.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be a fantastic fight.
I think it'll be a fantastic fight.
That's the only thing I care about.
So
you have two elite fighters that are not ducking each other like in years past with a lot of the elite fighters ducking each other. They called each other. And they made the deal happen. And I don't know. I'm excited for this fight, especially for Crawford. Like, I mean, there's a part of him that I don't know if this is going to hurt or help him. Is his meanness. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it can go either way, right?
I do believe it could go either way as far as the meanness goes, because it could hurt you on a big stage like that.
Yeah.
It really could, because if you're coming out there throwing haymakers, if you get hurt, the best, and I always remember Tommy Morrison.
Yeah.
Anytime he got hurt, he didn't know how to hold. He just started throwing punches, and he's just wide open.
Yeah.
Now, if you're wide open with Spence, you get knocked out.
Yes.
If he has you wobbled.
Spence is also wide open. Not completely wide open, but he takes shots.
He takes shots. He does. He does.
On the inside, he takes shots. So
he does.
That could hurt him.
And Crawford's a great inside fighter. I was just watching downstairs his last fight. Yeah. Great uppercuts inside, double uppercut, double right hand. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't happen often. The double uppercut doesn't happen often. I saw him fight that guy. So either way, you're on the fence 50-50.
Oh, absolutely. But
okay.
I'm like, I feel like Crawford's got the edge.
So gun to your head, your pick tonight
I'm gonna
is
pick Crawford.
Stoppage decision.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. That really is. Like,
this has been the toughest fight to pick for everybody that I've talked to.
Yeah,
except two people.
It's so hard. It's like
it is.
If it's Spence, it's going to be TKO. If it's Crawford, I could see, and it just sounds ridiculous. Say like picking these odds. It's like, well, you're not really picking anything. For Crawford, I mean, could he get the TKO? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen Spence really hurt like bad. But I feel like it's going to be unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision.
Because he can box.
Yeah.
He can box. He's not just a banger. He can box.
If there's one thing that I would say could be the wild card in this, my thought is the judges want Spence to win.
We're talking
and
judges.
I only say that, and I only say that because if there is a fight down the line that would be breaking records, is Spence Canelo.
Yeah, true.
And he's called out Canelo. He would like to fight Canelo.
The dirtiness of boxing.
That's the only thing that I could see where it's a wild card. Whereas it's close enough where you can give it a couple rounds here and there to Spence that maybe should have gone to Bud. But I think that they want to set, because there's clearly no way. I don't think Canelo would want to fight Benavidez.
No,
I just don't.
No.
I mean, it's just too much right now.
Yeah.
Spence is
He
smaller.
didn't look. He hasn't looked like the past two
No,
fights. He
looked
good.
terrible. He looked
did not-
terrible.
Like he
I mean,
doesn't
that
look
guy-
as sharp
no.
as he.
No way.
Is this the?
Is it
the decline?
Is it the decline of him?
Age?
It could be, or it could be just the amount of fights he's had. And
He's been boxing since what? 15.
Well, no, he was about 8.
Well, I mean, like
competitively since he was 15,
16.
16 had professional fights.
Yeah.
At that age, the toll of your body, the toll on your body, is incredible.
Yeah.
It just you cannot. It's hard to recover.
Yeah.
And when you don't recover quickly, you cannot get the proper training.
I mean, you got training, you have all those sparring sessions, and then
And then
the
at what
fight
point?
itself.
And then at what point is the nutrition slack off? Because you know what, you want to live your life at some point. And he's got a kid.
Yeah.
I think he's married. I'm not sure. I think it's his
Yeah,
girlfriend. There's a time where you want to enjoy it, and he's made $1 gazillion.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more do you really want that? Gun to your head. Fight goes
I'm going
Crawford.
I'm going Crawford.
Unanimous decision.
Yeah.
All
Or,
right,
and if he gets lucky.
Who?
If Crawford gets lucky,
But you're
Ursing-
still saying.
I'm still saying Crawford. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna have one for Crawford. My pick, and
It's Spence.
and now as we're doing this series, I have you coming in.
Yeah.
Leo is supposed to join us. My brother is coming in. He's running a little behind. So we're gonna do 3 different segments. So those that are watching on YouTube, the Zapata Brand channel, subscribe and like. You're gonna see this prediction by me 3 times. I am picking Spence. I will stay with that pick because of what I've seen on film. That's not to say Crawford, or not to say it's going to be a blowout and that's it. I just look at them all being both equal. Hand speed, well, I think Bud is faster, but equal in elite level. They're all elite. What is the difference? I think physically and the ability to take a punch. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think that separates them.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I mean, we're weighing all these crazy factors, and like for me personally, I weighing all these crazy factors. Plus, Spence too, car accident. How much did that?
I have
affect
no idea
him?
how that would affect him.
His
that
brain.
is a wild
That
card
was
there.
a crazy accident that he was in.
That being said, Rich, when did you? And real quick, I just want to have the people who don't know you. When did you start coming to the gym here? Did you remember?
Oh God, I don't even remember, man. It's been a long time.
So you've been around the game with me, and then just around the amateur circuit for over a decade. I mean, you're talking
way
15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And you would come in. I could remember we would talk boxing, and I just said, I didn't know, how much you knew boxing until we actually got into the nuts and bolts of boxing. And boxing. Yeah. You're over there at the Rocky Boxing Gym. You bring kids down there, and you help develop some of the fighters that are down there that have the great footwork. Now they're all great athletes that you work with too. So it's an easier.
Yes.
It's an easier transition. But Rich is the one that if I have a guy that I'm there with, that I say the foundation you're going to learn from Rich, footwork wise, which is key, incredibly important.
Yep.
Is they go with Rich. Now, as they progress over and go with Leo, get into fights and actually in the game too, Rich kind of takes a step where it's funny where I see the progression with Rich. He takes a step back on fight day, but is in the corner, and Leo, and it could be me sometimes, unless it's your fighter that you're in the ring, but you take that step back and say, okay, we've done our work. You're going to have to listen to what I've told you, and I will put those pieces together. And I see that as a huge, because when you're in the ring, you don't know what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And if you can't listen to your coach, and I've seen you plenty of times get frustrated, if you can't listen to your coach in the corner, especially at the amateur level, then there's no reason to be there.
Yep.
Because you can get hurt.
The ones that are successful are the ones that not only put the work in, but they listen.
That's key.
That is like 100% key. Is they listen and they try it. You know what I mean?
And also
whatever you instruct them to do.
Yeah, even if it's not perfect, it's not perfect at first, they do try. And Rich, you're a proponent of being in shape. You get them in shape, and you will tell them you're not in shape to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've seen it a few times where I was like, oh, maybe, and then there's nah. I'm in the gym with him. He's not in shape. He might be in shape, but not gym shape, not fight shape. Fight shape and gym shape, different
you
ballgame.
usually see that in the gym anyway, like when they're working. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not giving, that's like the worst thing ever is to have to work with somebody that's giving you 50%. All right. If you're giving me 110%, guess what? I'm giving you 120% of me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to go above and beyond, because that's what my job is there, right? Is to make them successful, to make them a better version of themselves. You know what I mean? Like
And you even do that in school.
Yeah,
like you
absolutely.
give 100%. You'll bring your schoolwork in. I see you doing that, and I've never seen you ever turn down a kid to be like, "Hey, listen, I'm busy" or whatever. You always take the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, you go right around the corner, right around the circle with mitt work, right around the circuit with bag work. And that shows that, hey, this is a caring place. This is a place where the community can thrive. And if you guys are interested at all in boxing, it's right here in the community. It's right there on 2nd Street, 3rd Street?
3rd Street.
3rd Street. It's right there. I keep getting those confused. It's right there on 3rd Street. The Rocky Boxing Club, you can go there. Rich and Leo are there. Rich is there Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Leo's there most of the time. I jump in and jump out. It depends. My kid right now is really into football.
Yeah.
And he just, my kid is looking to fight again at some point. Obviously, we're trying to get the Gotti fight. That's the fight we want.
That'd be amazing.
But till this point, it would be May. That'd be the earliest it could be. But we would love that fight. And then Rich, obviously, Landon would be training with you and Leo because I'm just dad. So it does, I don't know what I'm talking about. Which
That's
what you,
the
that's what
case
you get.
with all
That's what you
kids.
get. I mean, well, with your dads, they
Yeah.
just don't. You know, you don't know what they're talking about. You're just that old man that never did anything, and that's okay. But I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Please like and subscribe to the Zapata Brand Podcast YouTube channel. I'm gonna try to get a link to you guys underneath in the description. Like, subscribe, and share the Zapata Brand Podcast. We'll be back shortly. I'm gonna upload this now with our next guest. All right, guys. We'll see you at the fights, and remember, don't be envious of what I've accomplished in my life. Be inspired by what you can do in yours. See you later.